So you have a model, you see some pattern of information in the environment, and your brain is saying, okay, what can explain that pattern of information? Oh, wait a second, I've got this circle here. That it looks like it could be a circle. I'll try that. Yeah, this is your hypothesis. So it inserts effectively a circle model into your world model, and then it checks to see if this circle model is working. Let's take a slightly more real world example. If you can imagine a ball, a snooker ball or pool ball in America. Mm-hmm. You don't play snooker, do you? But
Not
a
so
pool
much.
ball, right, rolling along a table. Now imagine it's rolling at a constant speed. How much information does the brain really need once it kind of says, okay, I think this is we recognize this, it's a sphere, it has a certain velocity, we can incorporate movement. Once the brain decides, okay, this is a pool ball moving along the table, it incorporates that into your world model, and it will basically just continue testing that model over time. And it doesn't really need any more information then. That's the kind of the beauty of this. Once you have the model there, if the model is working, you don't really need any more sensory information. The pool ball will keep moving. Your brain knows exactly what is going to happen next, as long as it doesn't do anything surprising. So that's kind of what's, I guess, economical. Because processing sensory information is actually quite expensive. You have to it has to pass through these networks of neurons, which have to release neurotransmitters, and the information spreads and it's processed, and that's not cheap. So your brain doesn't want to, process sensory information. It wants to keep it right down to a minimum, and it does this using these models. It creates. It has a set of models that it's learned, and some maybe, yes, you were born with certain models, or at least propensities to build certain models. But then as you develop, these models are refined by absorbing information from the environment. When you kind of mature, you have all these models there, they're ready to go. And just as you said, when you see a pattern of information in the environment, you would decide, that's a cat, right? Or something. We've all, particularly at night, right? When I remember when I was a teenager, my dad used to drive me home. I've been kind of out with my friends on a Saturday night, and he would drive me home. And often at the side of the road, I would see people, not real people. I thought, just for a brief moment, the road signs, perhaps the shadow from a tree, this pattern of information, sensory information, my brain, because maybe I consumed something earlier in the evening, I won't say, but I was a teenager, normal teenager, kind of. But I would see these people, and I kind of enjoyed it. I would kind of focus stare blankly ahead, and I would see people at the side of the road. So what's happening there? Well, my brain is seeing this pattern of sensory information in the dark, so it's not particularly reliable sensory information, and it's thinking, what is this? What is this? It looks a bit like the sensory information I would expect from a human being, and so it inserts a human being into my world model. And for a brief moment, there's a person there, exactly in the same way there would be if there really was a person there. Yeah, if you know what I mean. So there's I'm seeing the person in the same way, as if they were really there. But then the brain continues testing, as if there really is a person there. As the car keeps moving, I should see, the face move into profile, and there's a lot of, the brain has very good models of people, so it should know how that sensory information should evolve as I move. But of course, very, very quickly, the sensory information, the predictions from this model are unfulfilled, and you get these errors, and the brain suddenly receives these error signals and says, okay, no, it's not a person. And then it readjusts and changes its hypothesis from person to, street lamp and road signs and shadow from a tree. So your brain is doing that all the time. It's finding the best hypotheses based upon what models it's got to try and explain this constant influx of sensory information. The idea being that it can minimize the actual amount of sensory information that it needs to absorb.